So beautiful. Yeah, thank you so much. That's Ben Dowling on our meditation music this morning. We are gifted with our wonderful musicians. Thank you so much, Ben. If you can just... So welcome, everyone. Welcome to Agape. Good morning. We're so grateful that you are here this morning. Thank you so, so much. We are just blessed today and so grateful, just bringing this love, energy, and it's amplified as we come together. Thank you so much for coming together in community. Yes, Agape, so good. We have a beautiful house band with us today and amazing soul singers. Jennifer Johnson's in the house today. Joshua Johnson in the house today. Ebony Faye is here with us today. We're going to begin with a freedom song. And eye on the prize. Jen?
Paul and Silas bound in jail, had no money for to go to bail. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on. Paul and Silas began to shout. The door door opened and they walked out. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on.
Got my hand on the gospel plow. Wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on. Well, the only thing we did wrong, we stayed in the wilderness a day too long. Well, keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on.
Well, the only thing we did right was the day we started to fight.
Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on,
Hold on,
hold on,
hold on,
hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on.
We met jail and violence too. Hold on, God's love will see us through.
Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on,
Hold on,
hold on, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on,
Hold on,
hold on,
hold on.
Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on,
Hold on,
hold on, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. Blessings and love, Agape. Good to see each and every one of you on the love stream. Here's the meditative thought this morning through and as Reverend Michael for each of us to collectively rise up in consciousness. This is what he tells us. From clothing, zip code, car make, sexual orientation, politics, cultural identity to spirit, we are a label-conscious society. Categorical labeling is what we use to simplify the complexities of life. In our branding conscious, marketing driven society, it seems counterintuitive to simply experience being without putting a descriptive label or even an emoji on it. And yet when we live by labels, one label leads to another, and together they soon become our collective societal reference points. The truth is, pure isness has no label, therefore, as the essence of our limitless being, nor do we. Love to you, Agape. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Coco. Well, once again, welcome everyone to Agape. It's time for our congregational song. It's called Use Me. And if you're here with us for the very first time, the words are on the screen. We'd love for you to follow along and sing from your heart. And we also love to stand at this time. So right where you are, feel free to just stand as we stand for these words of truth.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine His light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands,
What must they
what
do?
must they do? Command my life, it's here for you.
God is the
God is the love that heals all creation.
God is creator.
God is creator and makes all things new. And God needs us to shine His light as He, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must
Good morning, Agape Nation. Obviously, you've been musically welcomed into a vibration and a frequency of being available to be used by the power and the presence and the love of God. You know by now we are vibrational beings more than anything else. We're pure energy, luminosity. And so when you're able to allow for the music of the spheres to inundate you, and it changes the water in your body to match that high frequency, your perception changes and your life changes. We welcome you into a perceptual transformation from glory to greater glory. For the divine heart and mind of the infinite that's everywhere present, engulfing us, cradling us, and being us. individualized expression of the divine mind, which means you, as a distinct unit of divine light, uniquely must express your gifts and talents, reflecting and revealing the fundamental order of the multidimensional universe. And that would be manifestation. That which was once invisible and indivisible becomes visible as manifestation from your gifts, talents, capacities, and skillful means. We welcome you to Agape today. Our musical inspiration is Saritah, singer, songwriter, and musician on a worldwide musical mission to uplift, inspire, and activate healing in her uniquely feminine blend of conscious lyrics, evolutionary reggae, and acoustic soul flavors. Born in Seoul, South Korea, raised in Perth, Australia, what used to be Australia, and currently based in California, Saritah has toured extensively, sharing her music on stages across the world. Currently working on her new album, her new song, New Day, is going to be heard at Agape today. It's out now wherever you listen to music. I want you to check out www.thejoyofsong.com to find out more about her, this woman's voice and songwriting, her women's voice and songwriting group offerings and membership community. We welcome back Saritah.
Good morning, Agape. This song is called Gifts, and as Reverend Michael was just saying, this is a call to action for every single one of us to activate and share our unique gifts with the world, because that's what we're here to do, and the world needs it. The gift you've been given, give yourself permission to be all who you are. Come, life is waiting for you. Do what you came to do and be all of who you are. Come, take a weight off your shoulders. Come, take a weight off your shoulders. You can put your load down now. You can put it on the ground now. Use the gifts you've been given. Give yourself permission to be all who you are. Come, life is waiting for you. Do what you came to do and be all who you are. Take a weight off your shoulders. Come, take a weight off your shoulders. You can put your load down now. Ooh, you can put it on the ground now. Come, use the gifts you've been given. Give yourself permission to be all who you are. Come, life is waiting for you. Do what you came to do and be all who you are. There's nothing stopping you but that voice in your head. So tell it where to go, tell a new story instead. Honor life by living your gifts. Time to exhale all your fears. Get out of your own way, this is bigger than you. You'll be robbing from the world if you don't bring it through. Everything is working right now towards your highest good. Only you can do you. And we need you to do you. Yes, come, use the gifts you've been given. Give yourself permission to be all who you are. Come, life is waiting for you. Do what you can do and be all who you are. Yeah, and be all who you are. All who you are, yes, and be all who you are. Thank you, Agape. Love you.
Thank you, Saritah. Thank you, Agape House Band. Joshua Sklar on guitar. Wayne Augustine on the bass. Curtis Bird on the drum aspect of life. Big Bad Ben Dowling hanging on the keyboards. As you know, when we turn within where it all begins, we begin to see reality. It sets us free so that we can fly, and our affirmation is we. Boom. I welcome you to Agape today, and as Saritah was singing, we're reminded not to be thieves. We do not want to steal from the world our gifts and talents and capacities that we're supposed to give. You've arrived for a particular reason. Do not keep your light under a bushel that people can't see it. Let it shine. This is why you are here, to allow that inner luminosity to be set free so that the world is transformed because of the presence of God through and as you. I welcome you to the Agape International Spiritual Center today, and I know there's a number of you who've never been with us before. This is your first time with us, and you're doing it virtually, which is how life is anyway. We're virtually way beyond our body. We're not in the body is in our field of awareness, so we have a virtual relationship with each other, and the body temple allows it ourselves to allow that luminosity to express in terms of feeling and touching. But other than that, we're everywhere, virtually being with each other. So I welcome you to Agape. And I want you to know that there are veterans on the online frequency right now. There are practitioners, spiritual therapists, veterans welcoming you into Agape right now. And so this moment is for you. You're here for the first time. You may even want to stand up and receive this, or at least open your heart space as we extend our heart through our hands. And we say this to you: welcome to Agape. We recognize you. We see who you truly are, the spiritual image and the very likeness of God, a unique emanation of love, beauty, and divine intelligence. Truly, you are a one-of-a-kind, wonderful, luminous, magnificent, brilliant, unfolding genius. And today, we are celebrating your very existence. We are celebrating your infinite potential. We welcome you to Agape, and we say in substance, from the depth of our heart, welcome to Agape. That's me being a fool for you. Can't help it. I can't make it to 12 o'clock without being silly at some level. It's actually an expanded state of consciousness when you can look at the paradox of the human condition, tragedy, comedy, etc., and have a level of humor. It means you're waking up, having compassion for all the stuff going on, but never losing your sense of connection with the transcendent. I welcome you to Agape today. You heard me mention the spiritual therapists, otherwise known as the Agape practitioners. These are individuals that are the spiritual bedrock of our community, that hold our ministries, our programs, our ministers, and each other in prayer, that this perfect spiritual idea of Agape may unfold, and that we may continue to be a birthplace of the beloved community. We appreciate that ecclesiastical order of the spiritual therapist. We have an individual coming today that's going to represent that field. His name is Martin Weech. You may have met Martin as he facilitates our laughter yoga on a regular basis, and allowing you to actually come into that field of laughter and enjoy as a spiritual practice. Today, he's going to bring forth the affirmations, our purpose statement, our selected reading for the month, and this morning's evocation, Martin Weech. And I would just say, many of you are meeting him for the first time, but I can remember a number of years ago, according to the medical establishment, he was on his deathbed, and we said, no! And he received a powerful healing through prayer and through intentionality, and here he is today. How many years ago was that, Martin?
6.
6 years ago. The doctor said, he's out of here! And we said, no, we're not going with that. And so the practitioners prayed, the community prayed, he prayed, his husband prayed, life said, yes! Martin is here.
Oh, my God. I didn't expect that. But I just want to say thank you to this community in particular. I've been here a number of years, and if you had told me 30 years ago that I would be standing up here speaking to all you in the world, I would have said, you're crazy. I mean, I could not speak in front of people at all. So I thank you very much. So I'm going to do the readings, or we're going to do this little thingy here. Here we go. I get so serious when I'm up here. I don't know what happens, but I'm going to go with Reverend Michael. Thank you, Rev. Reverend Michael's theme for this month is, when losing is really winning, the art of letting go. And his topic today is, you volunteered, now show up. This morning I had the joy of facilitating our meditation with the music by Ben Dowling. Ben's also an amazing practitioner, so I just want to shout out to practitioners too. Today's musical inspiration is Saritah. And I also, as I was back there, I could imagine us all being on her world concert. So that's just a great blessing. Licensed practitioners are currently holding prayer vigil and engaging with you in the comments of this broadcast on Facebook Live. You're invited to share any prayer requests there or contact our prayer ministry directly. Now it is time for affirmations. I invite you to please stand and repeat them aloud after me, line by line. Even if you're at home, thank you. My life is the life of God, radiantly and fully expressed.
My life is the life of God, radiantly and fully expressed.
The power of this awareness sets me free to be me. All of my relationships are shot through with love and peace. Well-being and being well is my way of life. God, by means of me, anchors true abundance and permanent prosperity. These loving words are the law of my life. Gratefully, I let it be. And so it is, amen. Thank you very, very much. Agape's purpose statement. Our purpose as an intentional spiritual community is to be a loving environment for individuals to realize that they are unique emanations of God, the love intelligence governing the universe. We embody an understanding of our oneness with God, and we consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through the New Thought, Ageless Wisdom teachings and the energy of unconditional love, we are committed to individual transformation and to being a beneficial presence on the planet. Simply, we are here for God. And the selected reading today is taken from the book Prosperity, Plenitude, and Infinite Possibilities by Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. It is taken from the chapter Activation of Sacred Truth, beginning on page 1. Prosperity, plenitude, and infinite possibilities is about the activation of that which is sacred within us. We are not simply having a cerebral understanding of what prosperity is and the laws around it. We are activating that which allows us to be the vehicle through which prosperity can manifest within us with ease and grace, so that the struggle many of us have around prosperity begins to dissolve. When we speak about prosperity, we're speaking about having all of our legitimate needs met. We use the word legitimate because there are certain things that people have considered or believed to be needs that are not necessarily so. There's a lot of immature wanting that goes on in this consumer-driven, materialistic society. But within us all is an awareness of what it feels like to have all of our needs met without struggle. In his Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said that the lilies of the field spin and toil not. So do not have one anxious thought about how you shall clothe or feed yourself. This lilies of the field consciousness, this vibration of all needs met, is what we want to carry. Thank you, Rev. And so we simply just turn within now for a moment of prayer. I am eternally grateful for this moment in time, to be alive, to be aware in this flesh, in a human body right now, the place that houses the Holy Spirit. How grateful I am to that which lives me, which breathes me, which has its life to me, through me, as me, that created me to go forth and multiply, the consciousness. How grateful I am to know that it is every place on this planet Earth, it is. There's not a spot that it is not, as is said. You lift up a rock and there it is. God is. And how grateful I am to recognize this, to recognize that it is everywhere, including on Venus and Mars, that the universe is this great, grand, and glorious place. Even now, all is truly well. It is from this place of divine Holy Communion, of my conscious union with it, that I speak a word of blessing. I get to be the mouthpiece this day, naming and claiming this service good, good, and very good, great, grand, and even so fabulous, right here, right now. And also for this one known as Reverend Michael, that he is more than his name, but that screams who he is, individually. It says, I am here to bring forth the good news this day. I bless his life. I bless his service. I give thanks for each and every one of us, knowing all is well now. And with a joyful heart and an open mind, I simply allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
And so it is. Thank you, Martin. So glad you're here with us on this side of the veil. And so glad that you guys are with us. The room is full of the presence of God, the angelic presence, the ancestral presence, and your presence, which represents God. We welcome you into this dynamic through our sacred music ministry.
This is a new chant. We got it last week. Hey, it's called Ashe-O. So if you all pick it up, come on and sing with us. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe-O. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe-O. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe-O. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe-O. Speaking to the best you see. Ashe-O. To the excellence that's meant to be. Ashe-O. Receive the power in your hand. Ashe-O. To create new life at your command.
Ashe, Ashe, oh, Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe, 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 oh.
To declare and claim the light in you,
Ashe, oh,
is a gift we must awaken to.
Ashe, oh,
We're designed to speak a word and know,
Ashe, oh,
as it is above, it is below.
Ashe, oh,
Ashe, oh.
Ashe, Ashe, oh,
Ashe, oh.
Ashe, Ashe, oh, Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe, Ashe, oh, Ashe, Ashe, oh, Ashe, Ashe, oh, Ashe, Ashe, oh,
We are
Ashe.
calling forth the light of love.
Ashe, oh,
As it
Ashe.
is below, it is
Ashe,
above.
oh,
Emanate
Ashe.
the power of the sun.
Ashe, oh,
And know
Ashe.
that it's already done.
Ashe, oh,
Ashe, oh.
Ashe, Ashe, oh, Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe, 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 oh,
Ashe,
Ashe,
oh.
Ashe, Ashe, oh,
Ashe,
Ashe, Ashe,
know that it's already done.
Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe, 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 oh, Ashe.
Ashe. Great. Magnificent. I know you're feeling the vibration already, and already your perspective is changing, expanding, so that great possibilities you're beginning to see, and great possibilities are now emerging in your life. As within, so without. As we continue to welcome ourselves into this sacred space, there are things going on in our community. Many of those things you can find out on our website, but few of those things you're going to discover right now. Listen with your entire being to Reverend Julie Moret.
Good morning. We've got all kinds of ways for you to stay grounded and lifted at the same time. Take a listen and see what is yours. To sign up or get more information about any of the items mentioned, visit agapelive.com, and all times are Pacific Daylight Time. Save the date. Reverend Michael's got a new class, October 12th. Get your phones out, start plugging it in as a reminder. It's called The Activated Life. Unlock your spirit power. It begins October 12th. In this 5-week program, you'll learn to tap into and unleash your spiritual potential to fulfill your purpose through understanding and utilizing spiritual principles. Reverend Michael will guide you through this transformational process in an intimate setting full of supported, like-minded people who want to celebrate you, the highest expression of yourself. So you can plug that in as a reminder, October 12th, a new class with Reverend Michael. A couple reminders, we've got our Teen Agape meeting online at 11:15 a.m. For more information or to join, click on the banner on our website. We've got preteens ages 9 to 13 meeting at 2 o'clock. Children ages 3 to 8 meet at 3:30. Both are live on Zoom with music, singing, and more. To get your Agape Youth Fun Packs, you can email revleon@agapelive.com. The Crisis Support Clinic will be back in session next Monday, September 13th. And remember, we've got prayer and meditation happening 6 days a week. We've got them at 8 a.m. for prayer and meditation 12 noon, Monday through Saturday, so we'll see you there. This Tuesday, you just saw Martin Weech. We've got Laughter Yoga. It meets on Zoom at 6 p.m. It's facilitated by our very own practitioner, Martin Weech. You can click on the banner on our website to register. No experience is necessary. You just got to be willing to laugh. Good? Loving Hands Unite, the Adoption Foster Care Fertility Ministry, will have their monthly meeting this Friday, September 10th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. If you'd like support with any aspect of the adoption process, email lovinghandsunite@agapelive.com to receive your Zoom link. And you can join the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer plus ministry Saturday, September 11th at 3 o'clock via Zoom. Our guest speaker is author, screenwriter, and playwright and longtime Agape member Bill Robertson. He will share his experience of strength and hope through sobriety and spirituality. Email lgbt@agapelive.com for more information. Agape Spiritual Community Gatherings. These continue to meet every Friday at 5:30. Connect in community for an enriching, inspiring gathering led by our practitioners and ministers. Email scg@agapelive.com for info. And finally, you know what it is. Dance with the Rev. Get your endorphins flowing. Shift your mood. Show us your moves in a 1-minute video dancing during a Sunday service. Uploaded on the banner on our Agape website, and you may see yourself #Dance with the Rev on social media and on Sundays. Many blessings to you.
Thank you, Reverend Julie. We invite back to the platform right now Saritah, with our very own Agape House Band and our wonderful, magnificent backup singers.
It's so wonderful to be here with you, Agape. This is a new song. It's called New Day. Every single morning when I wake up and I see a new day is dawned. Oh, I'm giving thanks to the Creator. I promise I'll do my all to live it in a good way. Remember every moment matters each day. The blessings, they are endless. What do you say? People, it's a new beginning. Come what may. Life is what we make of it. Come on now, let's live some life. Life, oh, life is happening. Come on now, let's share some time. Life is what we make of it. Come on now, let's live some life. Life, oh, life is happening. Yeah, new day dawning. New beginning. New day dawning. Birds are singing. Every single morning when I wake up and I see a new day is dawned. Oh, I'm giving thanks to the Creator. I promise I'll do my all to make the most of this day, to live in truth and to do so kindly, to use my voice for good with sincerity, to do the best I can with all my ability. Life is what we make of it. Come on now, let's live some life. Life, oh, life is happening. Come on now, let's share some time. Life is what we make of it. Come on now, let's live some life. Life, oh, life is happening. Yeah, new day dawning. New beginning. Agape. Much love. It's a new day.
This is Saritah. That's her latest gift to the world. Where all music is sold, go ahead and get it. Listen to it over and over again so that it lifts your vibration. As you hear the Agape House Band jamming, you remember Saritah's song. This is a new day. This is a new day. And that's how we want to wake up, not only every single morning to the best of our ability, but that's a part of the waking up process, period. Coming to an understanding that, as I shared in the earlier way of meditation and service, that we're waking up to the vibrational frequency embedded within us, saying, "Behold, I make all things new." Becoming keenly aware that we've been imprinted by the world, we've been imprinted by conversations, circumstances, situations from time to time, and oftentimes we're entering into the world with the imprint leading the way rather than the presence of God as the activity of our awareness leading the way. So we come into sacred service such as this. We come into the way of meditation service. We come into our daily spiritual practice in order for the imprint to not lead the way, so that which is untouched by time and experience, that which is untouched by people's opinions, points of view, that which is untouched by the worldly news, can begin to come forth as the activity of our awareness and anchor itself on the earth plane. That which is in the higher planes of existence, hearing, "Behold, I make all things new." So it is in that awareness that we hear our theme for this particular month, which is when losing is really winning, the art of letting go. When losing is really winning. And so when we take that in somewhere within us, we know that that's the truth of our being. We know that 100% of all spiritual growth, development, and unfoldment is the letting go of something, the letting go of a perception of separation, the letting go of a sense of foreboding about the future, a letting go of any self-loathing, any lack of a self-love and appreciation for ourselves, a letting go of places within us where we have not forgiven past iterations of ourselves, letting go of any sense of polarity that we have created and division we have created in the world. We are here to let go so that which is untouched by time and experience, that which is really within us, can begin to reveal itself according to our unique pattern. So when we hear we're losing is really winning, we think about perhaps the individuals who lose hanging out with their friends for a while in order to go develop a level of mastery around a skill or something. You hear the Olympics have just culminated a few weeks ago, and you hear the stories of these individuals who had to let go of hanging out with their friends, let go of certain habits that they had in order to dive deep into the awareness of building up their mental body, emotional body, and physical bodies in order to have the level of endurance and skill in order to make the Olympic team in the first place, and then perhaps to go on to medal in that particular experience that they were in. You hear about individuals who give up hanging around their gossipy friends to be alone, that they can dive deep into the awareness of the wonders of the limitless universe. As I'm saying that right now, I'm hearing Thomas Troward say, in order to glean the fundamentals of the universe, in order to come into harmony with the I'm making, this is in substance here, it's not the exact quote, but in order to come into the wonder of the limitless universe, you must do two things. You must realize you're at the center of it, and at the same time withdraw all thinking that you can contribute anything to its efficiency. And so in order to come into that, we're letting go of mediocrity to hold hands with that which is of excellence. So when losing is really winning, we're taking the time to let go of the lesser for the greater. This is what a dimension of what Jesus the Christ meant when he said that those that will save their life will lose it. But if you lose your life for my sake, you will find the eternal life. if you lose your over-identification with seeing life through your woundedness, if you lose your identification with the fears and the doubts and the worries that run you, if you lose your identification with just the external personality construct for my sake, for the sake of the Christ's presence, you will win. Win, 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 win. Forget everything else. Win, 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 win. And many of you know where that's from. That's J. Rock, but he didn't use the word forget. But today we're just cleaning it up a little bit. And so when losing is really winning, you are sacrificing that which you are losing, making it sacred, so that you can come into the frequency and the vibration of you being a greater expression of who and what you really are. So when we hear Paul talking about perhaps the dying daily concept of life, you're letting go and dying daily to perceptions that no longer serve you. You're dying daily and letting go of opinions that other people have of you. You're dying daily to letting go of your opinion of what other people may be having an opinions about you. You're letting go of all of that. This is a daily practice, mind you, because there's an art of letting go. There is an art of letting go. First of all, there's the letting go of the things that I have just described. You're letting go of the habit of unhappiness. You're letting go of the habit of fear. And keep in mind that many of the ways by which we experience the world is through mental habit. You know, the old statement that all of us are created basically the same, but what separates us is our habit, primarily our mental habits. And so we're learning to let go of our habit of fear. We're learning to let go of our habit of worry. We're learning to let go of our habit of unhappiness. And as we're letting go of that, which comes through, of course, affirmative prayer and meditation, sacred study, high fellowship, and etc., we're letting go to something. You know, I was having a meeting with one of our ministers, Reverend Cindy Ambrise, this week, and we were discussing the upcoming class Roots. And we were entered into the conversation about Jesus, the Christ, and his relationship with the Essenes. And we were talking about the fact that in the Essene practice, there was a practice, that joy was a spiritual practice. And that those that practice this kind of a joy, they would be noticed by people on the streets because they had not contracted their energy based on external circumstances. So letting go means letting go to the joy. And how does that work? It means that you consider something that brings you joy, or you consider something that you want that if you get it may bring you joy. But instead of assigning the joy in the future, you begin to feel into the sense of joy now, even before the circumstance changes, even before the thing happens. That's a practicing of joy. You begin to center yourself in that particular joy until there's a feeling tone about it, until you're able to walk in that dynamic. This is practice, mind you, until you're able to walk in that dynamic. So you're actually letting yourself go to the joy. You're letting yourself go into that awareness. You also begin to be aware that you can let yourself go, let complaining go, and let yourself go to a description of the world you want to live in. This is another aspect of letting go. And so you know that complaining is habitual. We all have that to a limited or greater degree about something here or there. And so you begin to describe the world you want to live in, and you begin to carry the feeling tone of that particular world because the eyes can't see what the mind does not know. That's an impossibility. Your eyes can't see it if the mind doesn't know it. That's called paradigm blindness. So unless you eliminate the spiritual astigmatism, the paradigm blindness, by feeling and describing the world you want to live in, by feeling and describing the joy that is here at the depth of your being, your eyes will never see it because you're living in a paradigm that's too small for you to see. But interestingly enough, the moment you begin to have a letting go practice to joy, and not withstanding the fact that there are terrible things happening on the planet, letting yourself go to the description of the world you want to live in, thus evoking the law that states you do not describe what you see what you describe. That is a sacred law. And so as you begin to describe that, then the eyes will begin to see what the mind is knowing. You begin to see possibilities and opportunities. You begin to see ways where there appears to be no ways. You begin to see it because internally you are activating it within you. There is an art of letting go. When losing is really winning. When losing the small perception of yourself and the small perception of life is really winning, win. Forget everything else. Win. Activate that into that awareness. And then you will discover and you'll remember, particularly in your soulful spiritual practices, you'll begin to remember that you volunteered to be here. In the esoteric teachings of the ages, it is often talked about the fact that particularly after the 1940s, when America incurred tremendous karmic debt by dropping a bomb on Japan, on Nagasaki, and that in the esoteric teachings it talks about the fact that that particular bomb was not supposed to be even incurred in this particular timeline in terms of the evolution of human consciousness and human curiosity and human immaturity, developed it as a weapon instead of as an instrument for good. But it created a whole lot of karmic debt for America when they did that. But nevertheless, there was an inner call for beings to arrive on the planet, volunteers, mind you, to begin to carry a different frequency on the planet. And so like 3 different kinds of beings arrived. And this is a lot to bring into this discussion, but I'll just break it down like this. And that the angelic realm, the ancestral realm, cannot intervene unless you ask for help. And they cannot, there's a non-participation in the unfolding of human consciousness. And so what happened is beings from around that did not have the karma of the world, of the United States, of the planet Earth, incarnated in order to bring about a different frequency from within rather than from without. So one group of people arrived, and they were the people that came in the 40s and 50s to a degree, and they became more activist-minded, saying things like no more war, no more peace, bring about peace on the planet. It was a frequency. Then another wave of individuals emerged, and this wave of individuals came with a state of being, very sensitive beings. And their main attribute to the planet is a state of being, maintaining a level of vibrational efficiency, vibrational of peace and of love and of harmony. And they don't stand out. They're not necessarily celebrities. They have families or not have families. And they're able to carry a state of being. And it looks like they may not be doing much, but they're holding a frequency, you see, for the next level of evolution to occur. And then there's a next group of people that arrived on the planet, and these beings were called the hope of the world, and they came not only with the state of being, but they came with the vibration of being a creator. Creativity runs through them. And so if you're listening to Agape for any length of time, you are probably an individual who has volunteered to come to the planet to bring about your gifts, talents, and capacities, not to get anything from the world necessarily, but you've arrived here as a volunteer to hold the frequency of the next stage of unfoldment to happen on the planet. Some of you may recognize yourself as being very sensitive to the things that go on the planet. It hurts your soul. It hurts your heart to a degree. Some of you may recognize yourself as an individual that can hold a state of consciousness regardless of what's happening around you. Some of you are recognizing yourself as being in the fray, as creating something new for the unfoldment of the planet, or a combination of all 3 that I've just described. But you are a volunteer. Now you have to show up. You have to suit up and show up. You have to wake up and show up. You have to grow up and show up. And in this growing up and showing up and maturing, You're learning to hold the frequency of the world that you want to live in, as I've just described. You're learning to hold the frequency of the joy and the love, as I have described, and not capitulating yourself to what the world looks like at any particular moment, because your mind is being worked upon by your spiritual practice, so your ability to see is expanding, and so you begin to notice with your eyes, even peripherally, that there is something happening that is beyond what the corporate media will bring to you on a daily basis. There's something else that's emerging. And there's a good news about the something else that is emerging. And then you will find your place as a disruptor of the normalization of hate, the normalization of bigotry, the normalization of fear, the normalization of homophobia, the normalization of greed, the normalization of might makes right, the normalization of fear-mongering. You will be a spiritual disruptor of those particular limited, immature points of view. And by means of your very presence and the conversations that you are having, you disrupt and bring about the possibilities of the next great emergence of good on the planet. Because now what your mind knows your eyes can see, what your mind knows your heart can feel, the new becomes more real to you, the eternal new. Behold, I make all things new. This is real, I'm trying to tell you. This is not the figment of the imagination of mystics of the ages. This is real life. This is the life of God, of which individuals have written volumes about and created theologies about, and many individuals have written these things without even having a direct encounter with the presence of God. You see, we're talking about doing our spiritual work so well, we have a joyful encounter on a regular basis, you see. And so we look out upon the world, earthquakes happening. We know scientifically now that the sunspots, that the sun heats up, cools down, it affects the planet. Earth changes take place. Earthquake is not personal. When in fact, individuals' houses are destroyed, individuals make their transition. It's not a personal thing from God. It's the shifting of the earth. We look at hurricanes. We know scientifically pretty much that many hurricanes are the way that the equator cools itself. That when it gets too hot, it sweats. And it creates hurricanes. The same way, if you run around the block, if you don't sweat, you could have an issue. You sweat a little bit, it creates little hurricanes and tornadoes on your body, so that like a radiator, you cool yourself down, you see? And so you look upon the world and you see the hate and the greed and the polarization happening. This is a part of the human condition of individuals who have not matured enough to be able to go to the next level of compassion and love. And so our participation in that is first introspection. You see, where am I heating up the world? Where are my unresolved issues around resentment, animosity, unforgiveness, polarization being right? It's creating a fierce heating up in the world. And creating the hurricanes of wonderful, not wonderful, but the malignant stagnation in the world. Where am I participating in the fires that are taking place in the world? Where is there a cauldron of fire within me? Now, of course, from a non-personal level, when there's a forest fire, that's not good for people, but it's good for the forest. You see, the forest has to do that every now and then in order to replenish itself and to create the mulch and everything necessary to have new life. But individuals take it personally. However, within us, there may be a cauldron of fire of unresolved woundedness that we project onto the world and onto other people, you see. And we have to go in and deal with that, you see, through our introspection first. Introspection is an embracing of the inner earthquakes that are taking place. The introspection deals with the inner hurricanes. The introspection deals with the unresolved issues of hate and projection and unforgiveness and resentment and animosity until there is a release and a relief, not guilt and shame at all. Remember, as I said a few weeks ago, as a revelation occurred to me that when Master Teacher said, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do, he was not merely including the people outside of himself or anybody that's slinging mud and arrows at you and trying to do something physically to you or mentally or emotionally or gossiping, whatever the case may be. I took that on also meaning that we are forgiving the past iterations of ourselves. That from the time we were born up to the present moment, we've made faux pas. We made mistakes. We've said things we shouldn't have said. We should have said things that we didn't say. All of those are different iterations of ourselves on the path to maturity, and that we have to say, Father, Mother, God, forgive them, for they didn't know what they were doing at the time. So that we can set ourselves free in this moment, not carry the burden of past mistakes. Mistake. You had a miss, you get to take it over, you see, until behold, everything is made new. You see, and what I'm saying to you is an inspiration for spiritual practice, you see. And so as this occurs, we begin to be the living filament, the inner light bulbs that carry the light of the world. You are the light of the world, you see. You are the light of the world. You are a volunteer. You volunteered to be here, but you got to grow up. You got to suit up. You got to show up in a big way. And then you're able to hold the world in a different way. You see, the world needs your expanded consciousness. The world does not need your opinion about anything. The world does not need any more information that you have unless it's backed by embodiment and transformation in spiritual practice. The world needs individuals who are embodying the information, practicing the information, living it. Even if they're not saying a word, you may be one of those individuals that just by your state of being is making a big difference on the planet. You may not have the ability or the desire to speak or to write books or anything like that. Just your being walks into a room and wonderful things occur. Just your being walks into a room, people say, oh, she sure feels peaceful. Or he feels different. I don't know what it is. You might be one of those beings, you see. Or you might be one of those beings that have a level of being, but you're on the verge of creating something, being creative for the next stage of human evolution. But what we want to do, we want to expand our awareness, and we want to embrace all that is happening on the planet in a very powerful way, you see. I invite you in this instant right now to just stop and close your outer eyes. And when we hear the old spiritual, God has the whole world in his hands, we want to just take this opportunity in this moment. I want you to think of a moment in your life where you had the privilege of having an activated, not merely a transactional, not merely a belief system, but an activated love and compassion for anyone on the planet. Friend, family member, pet, whatever. Just come into the feeling tone of an activated compassion. Let's combine that with an activated kindness. Let's combine that with an activated love ethic, a love. Compassion, which is a very high form of love. It's one of the highest forms of love. There's the iteration of sympathy, which says, I know how you feel. There's the iteration of empathy that says, I'll feel for you. Then there's the highest form of that, which is compassion, which is, how can I serve to alleviate suffering? I'm not going to necessarily get into the emotional mud with you, but I'm definitely going to ask, how can I serve? How can I alleviate suffering? So feel into the compassion, the love. Now notice that every time you take a breath, this feeling tone of love and compassion and kindness is expanding. You're starting off with striking the mystic chord of memory of a moment that you encountered compassion and kindness and love in your life. But now you're not just leaning on that particular event. You're allowing the love, the compassion, the kindness to be the activity of your awareness. With every breath we take one now, take a deep one. Release. Expansion, love, compassion, kindness. And then we embrace planet Earth. Oh, Haiti's included in this. Afghanistan is included in this. Louisiana is included in this. Where all those fires are going on is included in this. Wars and rumors of wars are included in this. Wherever there's degradation or oppression is included in this. And like a brooding mother, we embrace the world, not with opinion. We embrace the world as it is seen by many, with a love, a compassion, and a kindness. Thus the mind is opened up to new possibilities. The eyes can't see what the mind doesn't know. The mind is opening up to new possibilities. We're bringing to the planet right now a love, a compassion, and a kindness. And it's becoming stronger and stronger with every breath that we take. Stronger and stronger with every breath that we take. And we ask from the depth of our being, how can I serve? What is my place as a disruptor of stagnation, negativity, hate, greed, malice, domination, manipulation, and control? What is my place? What is my place? Not what someone else's place is, but what is my place as not only a disruptor of this limited energy or the limited use of the law. What is my place as a disruptor and a harbinger of love, compassion, and kindness? How does my compassion look like in the world? Everyone's gift and talent and skill is not going to be the same. We are distinct units of infinite potential. Volunteer to be here. Some of you, and we have practitioners like this, some of you hold a very high state of consciousness. We think about people like Lissa Sprinkles. We think about people like Reverend Kathy McNamara. Individuals that hold the state, unwavering state. You may be an individual that's birthing ideas, catching the ideas from the infinite and bringing them into expression. Maybe individuals that are more of an activist inclined, like really describing great possibilities as you are denouncing degradation and oppression. Or a combination of all three. You just say, what is my role? Where is my place? You're jogging the mystic chord of memory, reminding you that you volunteered to be here. You didn't, this is not an accidental birth, regardless of what your parents may have told you. No. Some would say that the baby boomers are, whenever there's a large group of people that are being born, it's because there was a war or a famine, and so that was nature's way of bringing more life on the planet. But it could also be that something happened, and a wave of volunteers showed up to work from the inside out rather than the outside in. And if you're here, if you're in this frequency of agape, you've probably volunteered to bring something. Ask in terms of love, in terms of compassion, in terms of kindness, and you think about all the things happening on the planet. The suffering, the death, many deaths, I'm speaking of premature. Number one killer in America are heart attacks. Number two killer in America is cancer. Then there's doctors' malfeasance or mistakes, obesity, diabetes, COVID. Deaths, fire, earthquakes, hurricanes. All this, we see this every day. And so we ask ourselves, what? We bring about a depth of compassion for all beings that are suffering right now with loss. All beings that are suffering with loss or are dying of 1,000 deaths because they're in fear. That's why Shakespeare said that oftentimes a coward dies 1,000 deaths. We don't mean that pejoratively. Individuals who are in fear oftentimes are dying over and over and over again before an event even happens. We want deep compassion for people who have developed a habit of fear, a habit of worry. And so we ask ourselves again, what is my role? What gift am I bringing to the world? What skillful means am I developing? What talent is emerging within me that can allow me to be a disruptor of the old and a harbinger of the new? What is it? Now, begin internally to describe the world you want to live in. Start with qualities: peace, beauty, love, abundance, joy, generosity, creativity. Describe the world you want to live in. Feel it. You describe. You see what you describe. Not merely describe what you see. You see. You live it. The eyes, the spiritual stigmatism will be healed, and you'll begin to see what you're describing. I was blind, but now I see. I was lost in the world, but now I'm found in my own heart. I'm losing limitation, winning in expansion. I'm losing the fear and the doubt and the worry. I'm winning in faith and conviction. Win, 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 win. Forget everything else. Win, win, win. Wonderful, infinite, new, win. Now hold that space, and you'll be guided by your superconscious, the higher self, into conversation and action. Remember, when two or more are gathered in the name and the nature of that which is real, name and nature of the Christ, it's in the midst of you. When the conscious mind and the subconscious mind or the subjective mind agree, superconscious mind takes over. And you're guided by your higher self. How to be in the world before you do in the world. Because so many people are out doing without a state of being. Oh, it creates confusion. Be do before you do be. You got to be do, not just a do be. Because then you'll end up smoking doobies. Laying on the couch doing nothing. Okay, I've gone into silly Michael. He shows up, I can't keep him sequestered forever. He's trying to get out. But right now, with that sense of laughter, notice how it expands you. In the name of Martin Weech and the laughter yoga, just notice that sense of laughter. Just, the tonic chemicals started to flow. The immune system got more balanced. So we're making fun of ourselves, not making fun of anyone else, and we're not taking the stuff that's happening on the planet. We're not turning a blind eye to it, but we're bringing something as a disruptor and as a harbinger. Feel it in your bones. And as you're feeling, as you're describing the world, say, and so it is. Just say, and so that is, so it is. World without end, amen. So it is, world without end. Glory to greater glory, world without end. Glory to greater glory. Perfect unfoldment. It's happening now. It's not happening out there. It's happening inside of me. It's happening inside of we. And now you can celebrate your way home. Not frivolity, but from the harbinger consciousness. I've got to be it before I see it. I can describe it, and then I'll see it. As within, so without. So feel into that. Feel. Watch this individual dance with the Rev. Dance with Agape. Dance. D.D. Newman. All right. It's good to have like the hip thing going too. You can't just be up here. You gotta.
You are anointed. You're anointed and appointed by the Spirit of the likeness of divine and ultimate reality. As we act in that domain, we bring heaven to earth as a spiritual.
Who's that guy in the background? That's D.D. Newman. She's keeping it real with a capital R. I'm activating my spiritual stimulus package from within, not from without. Thank you, D.D. Newman. Now, as this song begins to play and you begin to dance, you're dancing for the people that are affected by the fires. You're dancing for the people that are affected by hurricanes. You're dancing for the people that are affected by dis-ease. You're dancing for the people that are affected by oppression and hate. All of that. You're a disruptor to that energy. You're moving into a frequency and a vibration that then will guide you into right action that's appropriate for you to be a harbinger of the beloved community. Feel this.
What you think of, what you feel now, what you know. To be real. Hey, yeah. What you think of? I think I love you. What you feel now? I think I need you. What you know? Truly real. Here we go. Come on, Ebony. Rain up. Rain up with us today. What you think
people in Louisiana, people all over the world that are experiencing death, suffering. Be a disruptor of the energy. Be a harbinger of the next stage of unfolding. Bless the world. Not with the sense of foreboding, but with the sense of I'm one with life. I'm one with God. Prayer, conviction, faith. Being the energy of the answer. Being the energy of the answer. Grow up and show up, volunteers. Wake up. Remember, grow up, mature, show up, and deliver. The world needs you. But not as a fearmonger or a hater. The world needs you as an ambassador of unfolding good, even now. Oh, feel into this. Reverend Kathy Mack, come up here on the stage. I called your name earlier. I want you to join with me in prayer this morning. I want you to join with me. Close your outer eye and feel into the power and the presence and the love of God. Can I hold your hand?
Absolutely.
Feel into the power and the presence and the love of God right now. Prayer is not palliative. Prayer is transformational. I'm talking real prayer. I'm not just talking about begging. I'm not talking about beseeching. I'm talking about soulful encounter to have a realization of that which is true forever, that it may become the activity of our awareness. And so we feel into the individuals that are called to be on our prayer list, the individuals all around this globe that are going through what we would call hard times, individuals on the planet that may be hard-hearted because just woundedness. We weren't born hard-hearted. Woundedness brings about greed and avarice, destruction, mayhem, oppression, totalitarianism. It's an immaturity that's unhealed. It's an infantile consciousness that hasn't grown up. We've got the antidote. Awakening. But we have to hold the space. Kathy Max, speak the word for us.
And how good it is to know that as we stand here in prayer together this day, that truly this prayer is not just here, this prayer is everywhere. What Reverend Michael has said, what he has spoken, truth, absolute truth. The divine idea in the mind of God revealing itself throughout all creation. We are here, each of us, through intention, with a purpose. And I know that together, we are awakened together, that we may be a beneficial presence. And this whole universe, this whole planet rises up in remembrance. In remembrance, it's within each of us, all of us. All of us came with a gift to deliver. The universe is conspiring on our behalf. I claim it, I know it, I'm grateful to be in this field of agreement. Everything within me says yes.
Yes.
And I invite each one to say your own sacred yes within yourself.
Yes.
We first make an agreement with God, then we make an agreement with ourselves.
Yes.
And that agreement must manifest and demonstrate. I know that for certain. I know that blesses this amazing community that is Agape, that continues to bless Reverend Michael as he continues to deliver from his relationship with the divine. And the divine vision, the wonderful purpose of this community is magnificently, powerfully, gracefully revealed. This is what I absolutely know and give thanks for. And so it is.
Feel into that.
Amen.
That's an amen. Feel into that. Victor? You felt that prayer? Hey, Jennifer, I feel you, Jennifer. Yes. We feel into the ecstatic connection with the presence. We enter into our faithful and committed conscious connection with the divine. We enter into our sacred fellowship. We begin to see like we have never seen before. A world that works for the highest and best. We have to see it. We've got to describe it. We've got to describe it. Describe. We gotta scribe it. Sometimes you gotta write it down. You gotta interrupt your own thinking. Thinkingness. Sometimes you gotta interrupt your own thinkingness. You gotta write it down and interrupt the fear. You gotta interrupt the foreboding. You gotta interrupt the sense of separation. Describe. And you'll see it. Woo! Individuals, Deborah McDermott and Piela and their entire family and everyone affected by these fires. Those in Jersey, New York, and all over. Peace be still. Pamela Woodley for her sister Cynthia and Princess Eubanks and everyone affected by Hurricane Ida. Hurricanes. We hold safety and well-being for all of those affected. Feel it. Feel it. Don't go into opinion. Just feel the power of prayer, creating miracles in ways out of no ways. Assisting the first responders, assisting individuals who are assisting. Tanya Morris, her nephew Calvin Campbell. Right where he is the presence of God, and we're going to stay with that label right there. Presence of God, wholeness, well-being. His body can heal anything. Vida is holding prayer for Brian Sartola. Right where Brian is the presence of God. His wholeness and wellness and well-being and safety is the order of his day. Diana Fingler, her mom Aurelia. Wholeness and wellness reign supreme. Our friend Sister Ruth, her son Larry Evans Jr. made the transition. We're holding sweet Mama Ruth in prayer because that's a big one. Her son shuffled off the mortal coil. So we got to just embrace Ruth right now, right where she is, and call forth a perfect peace that passes human understanding, because there's no parent on the planet who wants the children to leave before them. It seems unnatural, but it happens. Larry, flying into life after life. And there's Lee Scratch Perry, who contributed so much to the music industry. Made his transition last week. God bless you. God bless you, Lee Perry. And all the music you left behind as a spiritual, uplifting, inspirational legacy. Peace be still. Peace be still. Peace be still. And so what emerges from us now? Thank you. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I am so grateful. I'm so thankful. You know why? Because in the infinite heart, mind, it's done. It's happening. It's unfolding. It's revealing itself. It's revelation time. It's revelation time. It's revelation time for as many as gave up the lesser for the greater. Giving up your little life for the sake of the supernal life. Losing is winning. Win, win, win. Forget everything else. Win, win, win. Give it up. Give up mediocrity. Mediocre conversations. Give it up.
Right now.
And let godness flow through you.
Yes.
Woo. And so we give thanks. We give thanks. And we give thanks.
Thank you.
And we allow it to be so. Right now. Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
This now.
Right now.
This now.
Right now.
Therefore we can say this. Hear these words as if you're hearing them for the very first time. And so it is.
So it is.
Even now. With everything that appears to be going on, especially now.
Especially now.
Amen. Amen. Ashe. We feel into the vibration of our oneness with the presence of God. We bless this community. We bless all spiritual communities. I like to say that there's one spiritual community of truth in different locations. So we bless everyone who is a harbinger of truth and peace on the planet. We're at one with each other in the spirit. There's no competition in God. God has the monopoly on all good. And we are the transponders of that energy. This is our opportunity to practice great generosity, great giving, great tithing, donation, gifting, offering. However it is that you describe your outpouring of the Spirit through you financially, of course, we accept all prayers, sacred service, and substance. So we turn within in this moment and we give thanks. We bless our tithe, our gift, our offering, our donations. We dedicate them to the knowing of truth. That's a capital T truth. That's not an opinion truth. That's not, when people say, that's my truth. No, not that one. I'm talking about the truth that's forever. The truth shall make us free. We bless each other in this truth, and we allow it to be so. And so it is. Amen. Go forth and multiply the consciousness of the all good. I'm going to give you the ways to do it. But if you're already in that number, you already know how to give, you've been giving, you know how to auto-tithe. Some of you are already on the auto-tithe program. You're already on the text to donate program where you're texting to donate, but you've set it up to donate every week or every other week, however you feel comfortable. Some of you are already mailing in your donations on a regular basis, and some of you are already going to our website. So with that music giving you a little inspiration, if you're on YouTube right there, take your phone and text the word give to 424-321-6243. It's right here on the screen. Your phone will prompt you. You choose the amount and the regularity of it. You can do it right now. If you want to mail it in, that's good. Snail mail comes right in on time, all the time. 8549 Wilshire Boulevard, Suite 1156, Beverly Hills, California, 90211. Checks and money orders to Agape International. You can do that right now. If you want to go to our website, go to agapelive.com, AGAPELIVE.com. Agape means unconditional love. Make your donation online. If you're watching on the Facebook, there's a donation button right there, and I'm sure one of our practitioners is already giving you that information online. Those are the ways you can do it. Let me just say one other thing. And Paul will put a little PowerPoint up. But as you give, Agape gives. It's a part of our legacy, vibrational legacy, it's part of our giving. These are some of the places that we give. Agape can't be everything for everyone, but we can give to other organizations who are doing what we're not doing to support a kind and just global society. So we give to nonprofits globally and locally that are making a mighty difference on the planet. This year we gave to the Brotherhood Crusade. We partnered with them during the height of the pandemic. That gave groceries, gift cards, PPE supplies, brand new shoes, clothing to over 2,500 families. We gave to the World Food Organization, USA, saving lives, that they're saving lives and providing emergency food and relief in Afghanistan and other places. We've given to the Genesee Center here in Los Angeles, and we will give more. Many people don't realize that during the pandemic that domestic violence went up about 30%. People were just cloistered together and anger came up. When the Genesee facilities became full, they rented safe shelter hotel rooms supporting the many Los Angeles women and children in need. We gave to the Genesee Foundation. And these are some of the other places. Super Seed. We gave to a number of organizations, and we give on a regular basis because we're practicing what we're preaching, the law of circulation. So when you give to us, you're also giving to places around the world that are making a mighty difference. Let the generosity flow in now. We'll be right back.
Love, be encouraged. Love will see you through. Love, be the first to love and fill your heart with love. Sing about it. Love. Sing a song about love, and be about it. Full dimensional love is our shelter. Love now and always. Love before and after. Love gives you courage. It mends your heart. It's the best thing you can't go wrong with, 'cause it's eternal and it has no end. So stand on up for unconditional love is our shelter. Love now and always. Love before and after. Love. We'll see you through. Be the first to fill your heart with. Sing about it. Never doubt that it's eternal. Full dimensional love is our shelter. Love now and always. Love before and after. Love.
Talking about love, not just from above, but from deep within, where it all begins. That we begin to see that we're not born in sin. We're born as a blessing to fly beyond the sky of mind and anchor heaven on earth. We welcome you. We welcome you to you. We are the spiritual teaching that gives you back to you. We're not looking for followers. We're looking for spiritual leaders. For you to be so activated that you discover your giftedness and your place in the world to deliver your gifts. And we thank you now for circulating your gifts, tithes, donations, and offerings. This moment, that we may continue to undergird and support our spiritual community while we're supporting other organizations as well. You're now a part of that. And of course, I couldn't talk about or list all the organizations because we'd be here for a whole service. But every week, I'll give you a little bit more of the people, not the people, but the organizations that we serve. Okie dokie? Okie dokie. Okay. Okie dokie, artichoke. There's Silly Michael. Okay. Stand up where you are right there at home and sing this song with us and feel the import of the Spirit. Woo! Reverend Joanne, come up here and give us our benediction. Listen to this. Blessed always. Blessed always.
Blessed always. Blessed always. For the arms of God surround.
I like this right here. Let our joy be so triumphant. Triumphant joy. Woo!
That we rest in God and say amen.
Blessed always,
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
With your heart wide open, listen to this brief but powerful benediction through Reverend Joanne.
Phew. Oh, Lord, I'm so grateful. Oh, sweet holy of the holy. I am so moved and touched and inspired by this morning's services. I'm grateful for the music. I'm grateful for the lyrics. I'm grateful for the poetry. I'm grateful for the grateful. I'm grateful and thankful and thankful and grateful and grateful. Lord, I'm so thankful. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Amen. Peace and blessings, everyone. Take this energy everywhere you go today. Be a living offering of the Spirit everywhere that you go. So even if you don't speak a word, you thunder loudly about the presence of God. Have a bright day.
thank you, Saritah.